Hey guys, what's up? It's Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews, and I'm back. My depression hasn't gotten any better or anything, but I'm feeling a little more motivated to produce content, so I figured I'd start with one of the kinds of videos that I like to do the most, and one that's very easy to do. I will say, even though this is like my official return to uploading, I'm still gonna be pretty quiet on the channel. I don't think I'm going to be uploading super consistently, but I will be uploading again, hopefully like once a month, maybe twice a month. But I figured I'd start with a collection update video just because I haven't done one of those in a few months, and I've got some stuff piled up. So let me just start with the physical media, with the Blu-rays and DVDs and everything. So, shit, I don't even know where to begin. This is like a whole big box full of stuff. So I guess I'll start with the video CDs and get those out of the way. So I've recently gotten into collecting video CDs, which are basically like, it's basically just like an obscure format that I'm pretty sure at this point is like completely dead, but it's basically like DVDs, except they're on CDs, and so when you put them into like a Blu-ray player or DVD player, it'll ask you to select the track like you're selecting a song to play, and then it will play the video file that's on the disc. But I've got a few of these that I bought just because I found them for pretty cheap. First couple I got, it was like a lot, like literally just these three together, so I bought them. The first one I have here is the Water Margin. I have no idea what the fuck this is. I mainly, again, this was part of a lot with these other two, which the other two are movies that I actually really like, so I was like, I guess I'll take this one if it means I can get the two movies I like. So I don't know anything about that one. But I also have Human Lanterns on VCD, which, Human Lanterns, this is a really great one. It's like an interesting kind of Hong Kong martial arts like murder mystery movie about a guy making lanterns out of human skin. It's very interesting. It's very violent. You know, I really like it, and I'm very happy that I own this strictly on VCD. I do not own this on anything else. I don't own it on DVD or Blu-ray. I own it only on VCD. This one I own on Blu-ray. A bootleg Blu-ray, but I have Inframan. I have Inframan on VCD, which is probably the only way to watch Inframan with the burnt-in Mandarin and English subtitles. It's really aesthetic. It's really great. Inframan I've talked about a few times on my channel. It's basically your classic kind of tokusatsu bullshit. Guys in, you know, ridiculous outfits fighting guys in rubber suit monsters, fighting, you know, like rubber suit monsters and shit. It's weird. It's fun. It's wacky as shit. But it's great. I really like Inframan. And these two, I got Battle Royale 1 and 2 on VCD, which I haven't watched these yet. I haven't seen Battle Royale 2 ever. Like, I remember it was on Netflix when I was in high school, and I never watched it because I was lazy. So I guess I'll be watching Battle Royale 2 soon. I've heard this one's really bad though, but Battle Royale, obviously, classic, but I own them both on VCD, and I got both of these for like 15 bones, which is not bad for those on VCD. I bought some Full Moon stuff recently. I've been watching a lot of Full Moon in the last few months, and yeah, so I got Mansion of the Doomed. Anybody who's like a long-time subscriber might remember when I talked about this on my channel a very long time ago, and I remember giving it a pretty good rating and review, and I stand by it. This is actually a pretty cool movie. It's basically Les Yeux Sans Visage, Eyes Without a Face, but with eyeballs instead of faces. It's the same kind of setup. A crazy surgeon wants to have his daughter be able to see again, you know, that kind of bullshit, and he starts kidnapping people and stealing their eyeballs, and he keeps them alive in his basement. It's a very, very interesting one. I've got Mutant Hunt. This one Mutant Hunt is very fun. I mean, you look at that cover art, you can tell that's gonna be fun, and it's basically just like a science fiction like slasher of sorts. Um, Basically about a synthetic drug, like this like drug that goes around that basically turns cyborgs into like mindless killers. I remember being very violent, very fun. Um, and I also remember them mentioning in this film that there are like space shuttle sex murders that occurred, which is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Here we go. The Headless Eyes, another one that old subscribers might remember. Covered this one forever ago, and I remember giving it a decent score. But I rewatched it, and man, Headless Eyes goes kind of hard, and also Jason Bateman's father directed this, which I did not know, which is kind of insane. But yeah, this one, an artist basically loses one of his eyes after he tries to like burglarize a woman's apartment, and she stabs him in the eye, and he becomes obsessed with stealing people's eyeballs and incorporating them into his art. The lead actor, I think it's Bo Brundon. Bo Brundon gives a hell of a performance as the insane artist, doing like screaming incoherently about eyeballs and doing Shakespearean monologues and shit. It's really really entertaining, really creepy, unhinged shit that this guy's doing, and I really respect it. I got Hideous, which this is an okay full moon film from the 90s. Another like Gremlins type of cash grab ripoff movie, Little Monsters kind of movie, except it's with little gross deformed like human oddity freaks in jars that come to life. Haven't seen this one in a minute, but I remember this one being really good. This one I bought like as soon as I finished watching it. Everybody over here talking about, in the multiverse of madness, with that new Doctor Strange. This is Doctor Strange. This is the real Doctor Strange. Jeffrey Combs as Dr. Mordred. This is a really great full moon movie. Really, like a lot of fun. There's stop motion dinosaur skeletons killing people in this movie. It's it's quite the wild ride. And Jeffrey Combs is here, giving it his all, and I love that man. It's a little goofy, and hokey, but I really like it. Also from Full Moon, I got the Subspecies Trilogy, which I watched all the Subspecies movies in February, and I really liked them all. The first three are like great. The first two, in fact, are like probably two of my favorite vampire movies. Bloodstone specifically is like really great. Bloodlust, the third one, is fine. It mostly feels like a side quest sort of. It feels like leftover footage from the second one is what I'm trying to say. But that doesn't mean it's not. That does not mean that it's not like fun or not worthwhile, because this is still really great. Really great, especially for like low budget direct to video vampire movies. These movies are amazing, but I really love the Subspecies movies. Like I'd slept on them for the longest time because I'd always heard they were kind of mixed, but like these are actually like really great, and I'm happy to have the entire trilogy on Blu-ray. I've also got Star Time. Oh man, so this is a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. So I watched this on a whim because I'd seen this film around before. Like, obviously it's from it was released by Vinegar Syndrome, so like I've seen it on the website, I've seen it at conventions, and I saw it on Tubi, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna watch this. Like, this has always kind of looked interesting to me, and I was expecting some like anti-television or like some kind of slasher film about the dangers of television addiction. But that's not exactly what Star Time is about, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's a weird, almost David Lynch-esque kind of psychological horror film. I really don't want to give away too much, but Star Time is really, really great. If you haven't seen this, and if you have not seen this and you like horror movies, this is like really great, especially for a debut film. The guy who directed this, Alexander Cassini, this is like one of his 3 movies he made, and that's kind of a shame because this shows so much talent and potential and like willingness to be weird and creative. When it comes to filmmaking, and I really respect it and I really love it, and this is like one of my new favorite movies. Unironically, I wrote a review for this on Letterboxd, so read my review if you want more information on that. I've got Conquest, directed by Lucio Fulci. This is like the most so I'd never heard of this film at all until Andrew had told me about it, and I was like, okay, Lucio Fulci directing a sword and sorcery Conan ripoff type of movie. This has got to be good. And I wasn't ready. This movie looks like foggy and blurry as shit. Like, it's very aesthetic looking. There's wolfmen ripping people in half within the first 5 minutes. There's body horror. There's laser, like, fucking bow and arrows and shit. There's just so much wild bullshit going on in this movie. And it's probably one of Fulci's like wildest movies and one of his best, in my opinion. And yet I've never heard of it until Andrew told me about it. So as soon as I finished watching it, I knew I had to grab the Blu-ray. This is the Blu-ray release from Code Red, and as is tradition with Code Red, no subtitles, because why the fuck wouldn't you have subtitles? Okay, so up next we got one of my favorite 60s like B horror films. It's The Green Slime. Oh god. Who was it? Kenji Fukasaku, the director of Battle Royale, directed this. This is a co-production between, I think, Toho and Warner Brothers. The cast was completely American, but like the crew and everybody who did the effects were all Japanese. So as a result, this is like it has an American cast, but like all of the sets, all of the miniatures and everything feel lifted straight out of like straight out of like a kaiju film or a tokusatsu TV show or something. And I really, really love that. Basically a green slime that's on a meteorite that ends up on a spaceship, and when it comes in contact with electricity, it turns into these weird one-eye monsters. The green slime. And then also, this has a fucking theme song that is like a slapper and a half. Like, I don't know who the fuck went like, okay, so we got this really, really weird, like, bad movie. Let's get the funkiest theme song we can possibly can for this, because whoever did the theme song to this, I need a whole album from you, like ASAP. I want an entire album, and it better be it better just be like original theme songs to other bad 60s B movies. I bought Scalpel from Arrow. I'd heard about this, like, Arrow released this a couple years ago, and I'd heard of this film in passing, like, when it came out and everything, and I decided to put it on one day, just because I was like, there wasn't really much else to do, so I watched it, because it was on Tubi, and, this is, like, deranged and weird and fucked up and, like, really, really great. I really like Scalpel. It's basically just about this, surgeon, and his daughter goes missing, and they're about to like announce, like they announce like who gets the inheritance, and his daughter is going to get this inheritance, and the inheritance from, like, I think is like great aunt or something, and but because she's missing, it's just gonna go to the next person in line, which isn't him. So one day when he finds a woman that has like been horribly beaten to the point that like she's permanently disfigured. He rebuilds her face to look like his daughter, so that way he can try to extort, so that way he can get the inheritance. It's a really fucking weird, and it goes places. Like, there's twists and turns along the way. It's really wild, really weird, really fucked up. I really, really like this, though. The guy who directed this also directed, what is it? I'm trying to think of what else this fucking dude did. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did this before he did Blood Rage in the 80s, which is a really great, like, Thanksgiving set slasher. This is a really interesting southern fried kind of crime thriller, body horror, psychological sort of mix-up. Really, really great stuff, though. I really love it. I've got I Know Who Killed Me. I found this for dirt cheap. On eBay. Like, it was literally $5 used, and they said it was used, and I got it, and it was still in the plastic wrap. So I bought this mainly because I revisited this film somewhat recently. I saw this film when it, like, originally, not when it came out in theaters, but when it hit home media. I watched it, and I remember it being, like, super disturbing and disgusting, and also just, like, bad. And I rewatched it, and I was like, wow, this is like Showgirls, but, like, it's directed by Dario Argento. Like, this is trashy, it's gross, it's needless, it's disgusting, and it's kind of really entertaining at the same time. Very interesting attempt at being an art house film while simultaneously attempting to be a, trying to be, you know, a misogynistic, disgusting kind of torture porn movie. Very interesting. You know, very, very, very enjoyable little treat if you like awful bullshit. Speaking of awful bullshit, I found this on Amazon for $14, and I couldn't say no to getting this much trash for $14. It's the Campy Horror Collection, and if you know trash like I know trash, you'll know immediately who is behind this, without even having to. Also, look at the back. The back is like absolute. Look at that. Like, it's barely even. I mean, it's readable, but like, I'm not gonna fucking wait for it to focus. But like, that's not what the back of a fucking professionally released DVD looks like. And fucking Full Moon looks better by comparison. And Full Moon, the back of Full Moon case is always like really bad, poorly designed, and like cheap looking. Either way, obviously this is Bill Zebub. 4 of his movies. Which is Ass Monster, Indie Director, Exploitation, and Ant Farm Dickhole. I mainly bought this for Ant Farm Dickhole because I wanted to rewatch it. And I've watched the other movies on this set since, and the rest of the movies aren't even horror movies. So the only horror movie on here is Ant Farm Dickhole. So only a fourth of this is horror. The rest of them are really bad comedies about making independent movies. And let me tell you, just because you acknowledge the fact that you're a bad director doesn't make you very smart or clever. That's a message directly to Bill himself, because that's what this is just Bill pointing out that he's a bad director and not doing anything to improve upon it. It's not even entertaining in a bad way. Ant Farm Dickhole is hilarious. But like, the rest of these movies are just kind of really groan-worthy attempts at humor that are just cringy. I hate to say cringy, but like, that's just the word I have to use. Okay, moving on. I got this, which I'm gonna do a video on this movie here soon. Or when I say here soon, I mean within this next couple of months, probably. And I figured if I'm gonna do a movie on it, and goddamn, I'm gonna do a video on it, and I'm not gonna tell you guys what the movie is, because you're not, because look, get ready for this one. It's Peekaboo, Then I Strangle You from Sub Rosa. I'm not gonna say anything about this other than it's called Peekaboo, Then I Strangle You. It's a movie I'm gonna do a video on eventually. because I have to let people know about it, which is why I'm not telling you anything about it now. The one 4K I bought is the 4K release of Blood for Dracula from Severin. This is a really nice release. Comes with the soundtrack and the film on Blu-ray and 4K. I'm not gonna fucking flip through this shit just because I'm lazy. But I rewatched this one when I got it, and I hadn't seen this since I originally watched it in high school. And yeah, Blood for Dracula kind of goes really fucking hard. Another one where I'm just like, look, link in the description for my Letterboxd. Go find my review of Blood for Dracula, because my review of Blood for Dracula is it's actually pinned on my Letterboxd profile, so you can find it right there. I wrote a pretty long review for this one, and it's great. The last Blu-ray I have to show here is Twin Peaks: The Entire Mystery, which this is just, I mean, I'm sure people who follow my channel probably know what this is, but it's basically the entirety of Twin Peaks, and this was before The Return released, but it's basically just all of Twin Peaks, the first 2 seasons, as well as Fire Walk with Me and the missing pieces. I bought this because I watched Fire Walk with Me last month, and I really liked it, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna buy a Blu-ray of it, I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray that comes with the entire original series, not the Blu-ray that is probably way more expensive, which it was. This was $20 used on eBay, and this is like pretty minty condition. Like, this person probably bought this, watched Twin Peaks once, and then just never again, and then decided to sell their set. So versus the like 25 you'd probably have to spend on the fucking Criterion Blu-ray of Fire Walk with Me. I'm sure the Criterion Blu-ray probably is a better restoration and probably looks better, because I don't know if the Blu-ray in here is an upscale, or if it's like they actually did remaster it. I'm assuming it's probably an upscale, but like, I wanted to get the series too, because I still haven't watched all of Twin Peaks. I watched the first season and that's it. And then I got this set and I started watching it. And I got 8 episodes in, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this some other time. And I still haven't gone back to it. So I need to get back into it. But still, Twin Peaks is a show that I honestly really like. It's just I'm not good at watching TV shows, so it's hard for me to like actually watch this show. That being said, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is an amazing movie, and if you, like me, aren't very good at TV shows, but you're good at movies, then I highly recommend that, because it's a good kind of standalone sort of film. I'm going to show off this one thing that my friend got me. So, I don't know how to explain the joke behind this, but other than just by straight explaining it. So, me and my friends like to watch bad movies on Discord. Not just bad movies, but movies in general. And one night, we were, like, trying to figure out what we wanted to watch. And, I said, hey, guys, let's watch... just out of nowhere, like a stroke of genius, the fucking zenith of comedy, I said, let's watch that new Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. And everybody laughed, and by everybody laughed, I mean, like, one person laughed, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know why I said that, and I don't know why I said it like that, but because of that, now, The Mask starring Jim Carrey is like a joke amongst me and my friend group. So, as a result, one of my friends was in a toy store, and he saw this for $10, and he bought it because he was like, "You have to have this," and he bought it, and he was like, "I want you to have this. I want you to own this. This is yours. This is yours forever," and you can't say no, which I wouldn't say no. It is the Jim Carrey the Mask mask toy, with pop-out tongue and eyes, as you can see right there, which, if you just do this thing on the back, whoa, you know. Either way, This was $10. This is still in the box. This is older than I am. This is older than I am. It's still in the box. There's a little bit of water damage. The box is a little fucked, but I'm not taking it out of the box. It's even got the action figures on the back. But still, this is a gift from my friend Derek, who bought this for me as a gag. But joke's on him. This is going in the background of the videos. It's gonna go right here. Gonna put that bitch right there. Yeah, you can see the tongue and the eyes sticking out still. That's where it's gonna go. So yeah, let's move on to the books, because I've only bought 2 books in the last few months. This first one I bought is My Friend Dahmer. It is a graphic novel written and illustrated by a guy who happened to go to high school with Jeffrey Dahmer. Now keep in mind, this guy wasn't actually friends with Jeffrey Dahmer. He hung out with him like twice, and like knew of him and had a few conversations with him, but wasn't really his friend, so the title is a little misleading. And I'll say this isn't like the greatest this isn't the greatest graphic novel I've ever read, not even close. It's kinda not amazing. I bought this for $9, and I think I got my money's worth. It was pretty interesting to read, but like after I read it, I was just like, you know, all that information that I got from this is stuff I already knew about Dahmer, because I'm a weirdo who reads about that kind of stuff. But still, I will say I do think the artwork in this is a little bit more interesting than what you know, a little more cartoonish than what you usually get with a story of this subject matter. I'm not saying that means that this is a great, you know, graphic novel by any means, and I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I personally quite enjoyed it, even if it wasn't anything super life-changing or enlightening or disturbing, honestly, because it's about Jeffrey Dahmer as a teenager, like past the killing of animals and like you know, dissolving you know, like roadkill and sulfuric acid. It doesn't really do much that is that's at least that graphic or you know, disturbing. I've seen the film adaptation of this, and the film adaptation is not good either. It's not that good either, but like this was at least like something. I read it in like a day, and I was like, yeah, that was cool. And then I immediately, you know, put it on my shelf, and it's gonna stay on the shelf, and it's not gonna come off the shelf ever again, because I don't know if I'd ever want to read this again. So I'm just gonna say that I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I liked it. If reading about like serial killers is your thing, you might enjoy this. I don't know, but I personally think that it's not worth more than $10. And according to the back, the sticker price is $20, and that's not worth it in my opinion. The other book I got, which I haven't even gotten that far in yet, I'm only about like 40 pages into it, is Communion by Whitley Streiber. People might know this one, people you might not. Basically, this dude, Whitley Streiber, is a horror author. Author in general, but he's mostly known because he wrote like The Hunger and Wolfen, which both got adaptations in the 1980s. The Hunger got an adaptation with Susan Sarandon and David Bowie, alright? And that shit, let me tell you, The Hunger, that movie goes so fucking hard. I'm very tempted to read the novel. However, this is a book that he wrote and published in the 80s, like late 80s, about his encounters with aliens. It's about how he was abducted by aliens. I'm pretty sure in years since, Whitley's pretty much just come out and said, like, yeah, I pretty much made all of this up. But that doesn't, I don't think that makes this any less interesting to read, and any less interesting to read about, as somebody who finds aliens, alien abductions, and stuff like that very interesting. I bought this used copy for $5 whole off of eBay. That's what it cost me, and it's the cool cover art too. The new cover art is just like a fucking UFO, like a blurry picture of the sky, and there's like a UFO in it, sort of. This one is just straight got the gray on the cover, and that's the cool cover art. That's what you want. I'm not, not super far into it. Only about like that much out of that much. It's like a 300-page book, so I'm about 10% through this fucking thing. But I'm interested in finishing it because it's very, very interesting so far. But yeah. Onto the music. The music. Oh God. So, the first thing I got here is a cassette that I bought off of King Gizzard's website. It is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard live in Sydney, Australia, 2021. This is a bootleg King Gizzard cassette. Oh fuck, no! I like how I'm like, God. Yeah, it's a fucking cassette. Ooh, put it in there upside down. But yeah, the interesting thing about King Gizzard is that on their website there's a whole section for like fan bootlegs where they sell like fan-made bootlegs of like recordings of live shows and stuff. So I bought this mainly because I figured it would be a cool kind of little piece to have. It was literally $9, and you're not seeing a King Gizzard cassette anywhere anytime soon. I thought that was just kind of a cool thing to get. I'm not much for like live albums or live recordings, honestly, but still. I've got two 7-inches here. I've got this one. This is from 1992, and this one is like straight up some fucking like it's straight up just some like super independent stuff. It is the Fuck You Spaceman 7-inch. It is basically just a few tracks by a few different artists. The artists being the Mummies, the Enchanted Spellbinding Accordion of Alicia Rose, Three Stoned Men, Slug Dick Nick, and the Phantom Surfers. And they're all doing like Star Trek themed like joke tracks. This is like from 1992. This like slip that the 7-inch itself is in is straight up just some cheap paper. The 7-inch itself is actually a 45. It's interesting. It's an interesting little novelty record, I think, and I think the most interesting thing about this is that I can't find any of the tracks on this online except for the one track by the Mummies, which is Doing the Kirk. The rest of them are nowhere to be found online. But this one, but the Mummies track is on here, and the Mummies is the reason I bought this, also because I like Star Trek. But speaking of the Mummies, I also have the Mummies, The Peel Sessions, which is another 7-inch. This is another one that's like is an older one. I've recently gotten into the Mummies. They're a very interesting sort of like lo-fi garage like punk band of just a bunch of guys dressed up as mummies. Very interesting, very fun, very energetic. I really like it. And literally their music isn't on Spotify. So it's so literally the only real way to own their music is to buy physical, which I really, really like. So I'm happy to have both of these in my collection, especially this one. This one's a really interesting, really interesting thing. Like, it's even got like parody, like a parody Garfield comic on the back called Garfuck. Like, this is the kind of stuff I really like. This is really weird, interesting, obscure shit, and I really like it. Getting into the actual full LPs now. Start this end, got a couple King Gizzard albums. I got this one, which this is Quarters by King Gizzard. This album is really great. It's basically like four different, four tracks. Each track is about 10 minutes, 10 seconds long, and it's four different sounding tracks, and they're all like psychedelic rock. The problem I have with this album, though, and it's not with the album itself, it's with the packaging for this album. So this album, its artwork is like four individual pieces of artwork for each track. This one in particular is the final track on the album, the Lonely Steel Sheet Flyer, and then you got this one, which has the alligators on it, and that's the river. But like, here's the thing: instead of just having it be like a, you know, like a double LP sort of thing, or like a gatefold, and then it opens and then it opens and here's the other two pieces of artwork. No, this whole thing folds out. It's a giant fucking piece of cardboard. Like, it's not even an actual, and there's the fucking the album song lyrics for each song, and like it's basically just a giant piece of cardboard. It's not even a slip, which is my problem. Like, it's cool to have a full-size album artwork for, like, Infinite Rise, and this one, which is God is in the Rhythm, you know? Like, it's nice to have the full LP-size artwork for this, because usually it's just this four-way split artwork shrunk down, you know? But it's cool to have it, but, like, as a result, it makes it a pain in the ass to store, because this isn't a slip. Unless you store this upside down, you're not going to keep... like, it's still open, you know? It's gonna fall if you don't... Unless you store it upside down, or do what I did, which is put a plastic slip on it. You have to store it upside down in order to store it properly, so the LP doesn't fall out. It's kind of a pain in the ass, and I kind of really hate it. And it pisses me off, because it's just like, man, you know, like, I love buying vinyl, I love buying physical, you know, media, and one of the reasons I love physical media is the artwork and the packaging. The packaging can sometimes be, like, really cool, but, like, in this case, it's not really cool. It's really a pain in the ass. But seriously, like, you have to just slip it in, and then, like, it either falls out the bottom. Oh, well, no, it's not gonna. Like, see? Like, it just slips out. Like, you'd have to fucking store this shit upside down if you wanted to do it without a slip on it. So that's why I have to fucking keep a plastic fucking sleeve on the damn thing, so that way I can listen to it and so that way I can store it without, you know, any damage or anything, and that kind of sucks. Otherwise, this is a great album. Love this album. Nothing but bangers. All four tracks are great. God is in the Rhythm is, like, my favorite track. It's the third track on the album, and it sounds like something you'd hear at, like, a 60s high school prom, honestly. That's what I think of. I think of, like, a prom, like a high school prom, when I hear that track. I got another King Gizzard album. This is one of my other favorites from them. It is Fishing for Fishies. I love this album, and it's a really interesting kind of, like, psychedelic rock album that's just a bunch of, you know, bunch of kind of bluegrass. There's, like, bluegrass, like, eccentricities to it. I really like the color of the vinyl itself. But yeah, this album's pretty good too. I don't really have too much to say about these albums, honestly. I just really like them, and I'm really happy to have them. Come on, try not to, like, damage it here. Another album I got, which this is one of my most anticipated albums of the year. It is the new Ghost album, Impera. This is, like, the weakest Ghost album so far, honestly. It's not an awful album, but it's definitely their worst. It's like a ghost is trying to do arena rock, and it's not very good. I wish I could say it was good. I wish I could say this album was great, because I wanted it to be great. Because it's the first new Ghost album in, like, how many fucking years? Like 4 years now, almost. Well, it was nearly 4 years. Either way, this album was a bit of a disappointment for me personally. But you know, had to get it. I pre-ordered that shit. And this is the last album I have. It is the first hip-hop album in my vinyl collection. It is Food by MF Doom. Rest in peace. This is like my favorite album from Doom. Nothing but bangers on here, nothing but good tracks. Honestly, the only tracks that I don't particularly enjoy are like the interlude tracks, like Poop Up Platter, Filet Rapper, Gumbo, and Fig Leaf Bicarbonate. But even then, even those tracks, I like to listen to those tracks when I listen to the album, like, in its entirety. Like, when I sit down to listen to the whole album, I love to listen to those tracks, but those are not tracks that I put on when I'm like, let's listen to a MF Doom song. That being said, this is probably, like, Doom's best album. I'm looking to get Mad Villainy eventually, but I'm more than happy to have this. If I had to have a favorite song off this album, that would be really hard for me, I think. But I think it would probably be like a tie between Guinness's and Rap Snitch Knishes. Rap Snitch Knishes is a fucking slapper and a half. But that's it. That's it for now, guys. That's all I have for you today. I know that wasn't much. I'll try to be uploading, but I can't guarantee anything. Like I said, it's probably gonna be a situation of I'm back, I'm coming back, but like it's gonna be a slow. The uploads are gonna be slow, and they might stay slow, honestly. But like I kind of, I don't know. I've been feeling this past week. I've been feeling like, you know, motivated to work on, you know, the channel. So here I am producing some kind of content for it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. That's it for now. This is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews, signing off. Peace.